Hi, hello, g'day, kia ora, welcome to the studio. I'm Paula from Moxy Mojo, and thank you for joining me for Junk Journal January for 2024. So today's prompt is grungy. Now most of us know what grungy is. It's a lot of dark colours, a lot of mess, a lot of stuff that looks great on an individual piece of paper, but when you're wanting to put it into your journal, sometimes you're a little bit reluctant about making all that mess in case it goes on to all of the rest of your beautiful work. So what I'm going to do is, because that's my situation here, I don't want to have any mess go on to any other pages, particularly as I'm on the other side. I mean, if it had been on the first side, then maybe, yeah, I wouldn't have been so reluctant to make a mess. But because I've already got something on this side, I don't want to make a mess that's going to go and affect it. So what I'm going to do is go into some of my collage papers and use those instead, because they've already been grunged up, and so now it's just a matter of me using the grunge that I've got. So I've pulled out one of my folders. Now I have started to separate all of my, particularly my grungy papers, by colour, because I do like, if you haven't worked out by now, I love colour, and it doesn't matter whether it is grungy or stitching or anything else. I love colour. So I'm not afraid to use it in my journals or in my art journaling or making a junk journal that's full of colour. So I'm going to do the same here, and I've picked up one folder. This happens to have quite a bit in it, so I thought, okay, this will be ideal. And I mean, the things that I've got in it, I mean, this is a stamp page that I've created. I have got things like, these are pages that I put underneath when I was spraying and inking, and that was all to just collect up the leftover and excess ink. And then there's pages where I mopped up colour. So they're all in here. I've got some napkins, or these are tissues rather, where I've cleaned up the colour, and I looked at them and I was like, oh, that is so gorgeous. I want to hold on to that. So I've put them aside to dry, and now they're in this folder. Or some of these were placed in between things that were drying, and of course the colour from the other things has then transferred onto these. I've got some wet wipes here where the colour, because I was cleaning up something or cleaning my hands, the colour transferred quite a bit, so I've grabbed those as well. So these were coffee filters that I coloured. I've got pages where I was just experimenting with different products on different papers. That was just cleaning off a brush, I think. And then I've got like these, which were drop sheets that I put across the whole of my working surface, and I was spraying, and there was liquid inks, and there was paint and you name it, and anything that didn't go on to either like a journal card or a tag or whatever it was I was colouring, and then didn't go into one of these papers, was then caught by this. So I've got like that, and here's one. I love this one. So this was when I was working with oxides, and you can see all the oxides and then some metallics I dropped on there. I just love them so much. And there's another one of my inked and stamped and this paint on it. So there's all sorts on there. So all of these pages that I think are too good to be kept, I've sorted them by major colour, and then they sit together, and at the moment they're in a pile. I just need to find some space, because I do have a file rack to stand them in, but I just don't have the desk or surface to put them on. So for now they're sitting aside, but I've pulled out some that I really like. So I've got this big one that's going to be my background, and I'll put these other ones aside for now. Now I did this up this direction. No, I didn't. It was this direction. Because, yeah, I can see the top of the ledger. Believe it or not, this is ledger paper. If I put it over this way, you might be able to see it. So this is 3-column ledger paper. So I've painted and I've stenciled and I've stamped and inked and all sorts of things on here. It doesn't matter that it's ripped, it just kind of adds to it. And so I'm going to use part of this, and I love these butterflies. Now when I stamp it and do one of these, I turn them all directions so that I get images from every direction, and it doesn't matter which way up I put it. And this is one of those where these butterflies have ended up upside down, but for me they're going to be perfect because I'm going to use them upside down. And so I want kind of this. So now the question is, how are we going to do this? So I want to about there. So if I tear all the way up there, so that is on that one line there. So if I go up there, it makes it so much easier having these lines to follow. And then I'm going to tear this all the way across to there. Right. Now this one is going to be sticking up the top. I know this already. So that is going to be up there. That's okay. I don't mind that. I may tear it down a little bit. But the main thing is, so that one's going to be up that way. So it's this side here that I need to be really particular with. And I may need to just trim that down a smidge. Right. So now we're gonna go like that, I think. So I just need to watch out for that flower up there. So there. Do I want to? I think I want to just, I don't want to cut it, but I'm going to have to, just because it is, or maybe I cut it on this side, because, yeah, that one's got cool stuff on it, this one hasn't, so we are just going to eyeball it. And hope for the best. Right. Yeah, that looks kind of even. Let's just have a look how we place now. Okay, yep, that looks pretty good. If I line that up there, yep, that's good. Okay, right. So now I'm going to use some of this decoupage again. That's the heavy one. This is the light one. It must be getting close to empty by the feel of that. So I'm going to stick it down. I don't know that I'll put any on top, because I've used distress and oxide inks, and I don't want the decoupage to smear it around. At least I don't think so. So we'll see how this goes first. So, right, we want to cover this entire page. I probably should have used a bigger brush. So that's good. Now, I don't want to put that over the top. Okay, we're going to leave that like that. Okay, so that is really nicely dried, and yep, fits in there. I can close the journal perfectly alright. I've just got it open so that I've got the sides kind of even there at the moment. So what I'm going to do now is just create some decoration to go on it, so we can actually close that for the moment. And I've got together a whole lot of like scraps and grungy bits of paper from all my dyeing that go and kind of coordinate with here. So what I'm going to do, or what I'm going to attempt to do, and so we're going to start with this one here. Doesn't matter kind of which way up I do, but here goes nothing. So I'm hoping this is going to work, because I don't know really, but yeah, I just don't know if I can get it right, because this is all just being made up on the spot as normal for Paula. Right, so there's half done. And this is the hard bit, is matching the sides. But let's be honest, it's not going to match. And I think that's not quite rounded. And yep, so that one's there's a bit out. So the first side looked okay, second side not so much. Needs to round about there. Alright. Slightly deformed. But hey. That's okay. Does that kind of look like a butterfly? Maybe. It's an awfully big maybe. Oh dear me. So that's the plan. So I'm going to make a whole lot of butterflies out of all my grungy. No, see, I like that side there. I don't like that side there, but it's going to have to stay. So I think I came in too far there, and I needed to be more round there. But that's okay. It will look okay on that page. Right, so stack them and rack them, or whatever it is, the phrases. So we're going to make some out of all, well, maybe some of these, maybe multiples. I may even get some more if I don't like what I've got here. So I'll be the one over here making some butterflies. Okay, so I've managed to tear out some more butterflies. So now I'm going to go around the edges in ground espresso distress inks and just be very generous with what I'm doing, because we're wanting a real grungy kind of look for this. And for me, that it means like a lot of ink on the edges type thing. Alright, so I've been around the edges, and now what I'm going to do is just to kind of hide how the edges are so dark compared to the center. I'm going to ink kind of all over the shape, which is going to darken and grunge it up considerably. Yep, and then we're going to bring out some more that I prepared earlier. Here's some I prepared earlier. So these have all had exactly the same treatment. The edges have all been done, and then we've put some more ink on top, just like I'm doing there now. So we've got 5. I'm probably not going to use them all, but I wanted to have a selection. So we've got butterflies. So now we're going to pull some water in the hand, and we're going to drop it over the butterflies. And we're going to sprinkle some more water over them as well. Then we're going to get a napkin to dry my hand, and then we're going to pick up some of this water and see what's happened. Not 100% sure. I want some more water on this one. Alright. Okay, so now we're going to dry it. As you can see, there's like all sorts of ink come off it. So I'm just going to heat gum through this, and we'll see what happens. That one's dry. dry and curly. Don't know that I want to use that one. That one's dry just. That's dry. And that's dry. Okay, so I'm not sure about that one. Not sure about that one. So probably these ones. I think what we're going to do is we're going to bring our page back. And we're going to try and sort of balance it here. So now the question is, where are these going to go? So we've got our 3 butterflies there, which is kind of why I was thinking 3 butterflies to match. But I want them, actually that looks quite good, just like that. And then they're kind of in the back. Right, but first what we need to do is grunge up this page a bit more. So we are, oh, we put that back, didn't we? So we want that, and I want that. So we're going to start off with some walnut stain, just distress oxide. Now I'm going to and I need to just try and bend these back. But if they get brown on them, it's no big deal. Right, and I'm doing like really big, bold inking, distress inking on this. Like that. So that's looking pretty awesomely grungy. So now we're going to put that one up there, that one there, might bring that over a bit, and then that one there. If we want to add a bit more grunge, we're gonna bring in some black cotton. And maybe some scissors that can cut would be good too. Right, so that one's gonna go there. Cool. We have butterflies. Not sure if this is gonna work. now, here we go, is right, one down. Oops, I probably should have done this once the glue had dried, but hey, when has Paula ever been that patient? Now, I don't mind that this is actually quite kind of hard to see because it's like black on the dark. Alright, so can you see that so far? That's looking quite cool. One thing I do want though is trusty plastic bag for over this side of the journal, just to try and protect this page. Right, I'm going to start with, I think, white. Now, how are we looking? And we need, you'll do, some dry paint falling off. Right, we don't need too much, but now we need a little bit of water, I think. So we're going to just thin that down a smidge, and then this is where we go get paint all over the studio. Alright, okay, that's enough. So now I need to, that's what I was hoping to avoid. Now, the only thing is that white looks kind of pale and has faded a lot. I think it might have been too thin, but okay. let's try the black then. Black everywhere, too, including over me. That is what we want. Okay, so this is that copper colour. From there. So all I want to do is put 3 drops on there, and then we are just going to stand this up and see who's going to race down first. I'm not going to thin them out, we're just going to let gravity do its thing. Maybe I want to add a little bit more. Some water. How can we add some water? Add water without adding water. Okay, I think I know. Is that and that. It's okay. Alright, so now let's try and dry and see what happens. Cool. Now by not using a lot of ink, and that was Liquitex acrylic ink and iridescent rich copper. So not using a lot of ink, it was like barely 2 drops each, and then just a hint of water, which I picked up from the brush, dipping it in the water and then dabbed it on, and then that was just all that we needed. There we go, grunge. So now we need to put the title somewhere. So now there's only one obvious choice for pen for this, and that's a white one. So title is, according to this, Grungy. Oh, that was a moth. That's alright. Thought it was my mosquito friend back. Alright, so now I think I want to do this. Just sneak it in down the bottom. So we want Grungy, and it is the 28th. 28th of the 1st. That's all we're gonna do. I'm not even gonna go over it to make the white darker, actually. I'm just gonna leave it like that and let it soak up whatever colour is there from the inks and everything else. I think that's awesomely grungy. I think that looks pretty cool. I love that I've used splatters. I don't think I've used them anywhere else in here. I like the copper. It just gives it a little touch of lightness. I love that I got to use my scratchy pen again, even though I hate the noise. I think that's awesome. Right, said Fred. There we go. Tick that one off. So 3 to go. That's... What am I going to do after that? I've got no idea. Sleep, maybe? Okay. I've had fun down in the studio. I hope you have too. I will catch you tomorrow for the next prompt. Bye for now.